Hi YouTube, it's Kier. I wanted to make a video response to Judedirect's video called The Spirit of a Witch. It's a very good video. I'm going to put the link for it below. But in her video, she was talking about how she overheard a conversation with an online pagan group or group of witches. And one of the things that was said in it by somebody was that you cannot call yourself a witch if you do not practice every single day. And by practice, I think that she said they meant spell work. First of all, I couldn't disagree more with that statement. But more to the point, I think that this is an example of a bigger problem that we have in our community with certain witches who want to tell other witches when they are and are not a witch by their own standards. It's not supposed to be that way. I mean, there are few things that are 100% certain in the craft. It's pretty much a do your own thing sort of religion. What feels right for you is what you're supposed to do. But I think that one of those general rules of respect and rules of thumb that we should follow is that you don't put down another person's practice. You don't put down another person's path. That goes for people of other faiths as well, not just other witches, but I always have a big problem with people who sort of attack their own in that way. But that's besides the point. It shouldn't be done to anybody, excuse me, regardless of your faith. And it's something that this particular statement is something I'm hearing a lot of from other witches on YouTube. Back in my day, it was more the solitaries were called out. They were told that they weren't witches because they weren't initiated by covens, they weren't in covens, they were solitary, they learned by books, you can't be a witch that way, that sort of shit. That was the sort of shit I heard coming up, you know, from people who were in covens and things of that nature, and there was a very us and them sort of attitude. I don't feel that so much anymore, but it seems to be a lot of nitpicking that goes on in today's online communities with us, and it's things like this that are being brought up over and over and over again. This isn't, like I said, this is not the first time I've heard this, and it's just something that boggles my mind. For one thing, who are you to tell somebody else what is right in their practice? When those of us who are witches, we all know that the whole point of it is supposed to be to do what is right for you to get you to the divine. For some people, that may be doing spells every single day. And bless them for that, you know? If that's their path to the divine, then let them follow it. You know, I don't mean that in a smartass kind of way, by the way. That kind of came out smartass. I didn't mean it like that. I meant that, honestly, let them follow that path. For other people, it's daily prayer. For some people, it's just the rituals and the aspects that they focus on. For me, personally, I do try to say my prayers every single day. If somebody I know is in trouble or something, I say a prayer for them. If it's really bad, I'll light a candle. Spells are something I don't use unless I feel like I don't have a choice. I will usually try to do mental magic and pray before I use a full-on spell. It's just the way I've always looked at it. It's, you know, it's the way I do it. And if that in somebody's eyes makes me less of a witch, then that's fine for them, I guess. But, you know, my whole problem with it is it's just not somebody else's place to tell a person when they are a witch. Now, for those of us who have been in the craft a while, we might not be as affected by a statement like that. We may be able to brush it off easier. But for people who are new to the craft, that can be fucking detrimental to them to sit there and say something like that. Because you're already new, and you feel that newness, and you kind of feel like everybody in the world has more fucking experience than you do. Everybody knows what the fuck's going on, and you're just kind of sitting over here like, I don't know what I'm doing. We all went through it, you know? We've all been new, we all went through that. And to have somebody look at you and tell you, well, you're not a witch because of the way that you do things, that can crush somebody. And that can make somebody turn away from what would be a beautiful path for them to follow. And I think it's terrible. And I've heard in the past about people attacking people for being new to the craft. It's just, there's just so much animosity that seems to go on in our communities. And I think it's terrible. And I'm going to tell you why I think it's terrible. I know that this shit happens in every community. It doesn't matter what it is, religious, political, you know, physical, ancestral, whatever. It happens in every community. I've heard as a writer that I can't be a writer because I don't write every day. I mean, every community has their group of assholes that have these standards that they want to judge everybody by, unnecessarily. I understand that. But I kind of feel like, and Ember Honeyraven had sort of mentioned this in a video that she did, a very good video, where she was talking about the pagan community and bigotry in the form of like homophobia, racism, that sort of thing. And she made a remark I agreed with so much. She said, oh, and here's my doggy. He's trying to get up on the couch and he's knocking the little doggy over. Zeus, that's so mean. Anyway, she was talking about how, you know, maybe it's wrong, maybe it's right, but she feels like as witches, we should be better than that. And we should be more evolved than that. We should know better. And I agree with her. Whether it's wrong or right, I agree that as witches, first of all, no matter what anybody says, we've all been the new guy finding our way. So to sit there and say anything that is going to fuck with somebody's path and fuck with them trying to find their confidence and who they are as a witch, which a statement like that absolutely can do, is wrong. Second of all, we've all faced discrimination. We've all faced bullying because of who we are. Why would you do that to somebody else? I mean, it isn't like we're a community of mainstreamers. It isn't like we're a widely accepted and recognized group of people. We've all been the underdog. Why would you look at another underdog and put him down? I don't understand it. And I'm not gonna lie, it really pisses me off. I would never do that to somebody. I don't think it's right to do that to somebody. I've met people that have said things that kind of puzzled me, as far as, you know, like, one instance in particular, a girl told me that she was a witch because she read tarot cards. That was it. She had never studied, she had never read a book, she had never worked with a group, anything like that. She just read tarot cards. Not to me in my mind, I thought, well, that's a little strange. But did I say anything to her about that? Absolutely not. Because if that's how she's going to find her path and that's how she identifies herself, it's not my fucking business. It ain't my business to question that. You know? I'm sorry. Excuse me. I just feel like it's wrong. I feel like, as witches, we have so much potential for good. We have magic, which is something that no other religion really has. I mean, other pagans have it. And one of these days I'm going to make a video on my difference in terms when it comes to pagan, witch, and Wicca. But, you know, other pagans may have it. I don't know a whole hell of a lot about a lot of other pagans. I'm sure druids practice magic, I believe, and if you're druid and that's wrong, please correct me. I've heard of Hellenic magic. So I think that people who follow the Hellenic path practice magic. Again, if I'm wrong, please correct me. But pagans are really the only group of people who have that. We have that. We have our own personal experiences just being, as I said, kind of the underdogs in our societies. We have our life experiences. We have the unique experiences as practitioners. We have all of these experiences that are ours, you know, and we could do so much good in the world. I don't understand cutting each other down instead of uniting and making something good happen. I mean, we have massive potential for awesome things, and we see it a lot here on YouTube. I have found so many great witches on here, but I'm going to tell the truth. When I first got on YouTube and I started looking at witchy channels, the first few that I found, I think it was around 2009, I was just fucking off and looking at videos and I found a few. And every single one of them, the whole point of their channels, it seemed, was to dog other witches. Dog the way that they practice. Dog entire groups of witches for the way that they practice. And I didn't watch another YouTube video from a witch for about 3 years because it totally turned me off. I didn't want any part of that. I felt like, well, that must be the way the whole fucking community is, and if that's the way it is, I'm good. And if you're new to the craft, and you're new to the community on here, and the first few videos you see are kind of that sort of video, don't get discouraged, because there are witches on here who are absolutely amazing. The witch who made the first video, or the video that I'm responding to, I have spent a lot of today watching her channel. I think she is absolutely beautiful inside and out. Her channel is great. I found her through another beautiful, amazing witch by the name of Brenda Crozier, and I have watched all of her videos over the past week or so, I'd say. And I found Brenda Crozier, this is how it works on YouTube. I found Brenda Crozier through an amazingly hilarious, beautiful, fun witch named Ember Honeyraven. I have watched all of her videos, she is awesome. And I found Ember Honeyraven through the first YouTube witch that I really watched it like it was my favorite TV show, kind of watched her channel. And her channel's name is Mirth and Reverence. Her name is Anni, and she is absolutely fucking amazing. So if you are new to YouTube and you're new to these type of videos and you're new to the craft, check out witches like that. Those witches resonate with me. Find the witches that resonate with you, and then sort of look at the witches that they talk about and the witches that they have subscribed to, because it really is sort of a network of just awesomeness if you find the right people. Don't pay any mind to anybody who's trying to feed you garbage if it doesn't sit well with you, and this goes for anything somebody tells you. If they're trying to tell you to do your practice a certain way as far as how you worship your gods, how you do your Sabbats, how you work with stones, how you work with herbs, how you read the tarot, whatever it is, if it doesn't sit well with you, or it doesn't resonate with you, just forget about it. I mean, I know if it's something that kind of undercuts your confidence, it's easier said than done. But, and that's not even going for, you know, just bad advice or bad information. There have been many, many very good pieces of advice that I've received that might be very, very helpful for somebody else, but they just don't work for the way that I practice. And I enjoy that. I love watching the way that other witches practice and seeing the way that they do things, even if it's something that, a way that wouldn't necessarily work for me. A perfect example is the channel of a witch named Lady Gravedancer. Her path is pretty different from mine. She does things pretty different than I do, but I love watching her. I love hearing the shit that she talks about. I think she's really great. But you don't have to take it to heart. Even good advice, if it's not something that works for you, you don't have to take it to heart. And if you're kind of a veteran witch out there, or you've been in this a while, and you have your set opinions on what a witch is, they're your opinions. That doesn't mean that you have to shove them down other people's throats. I don't mean to sound like a bitch about it, but just sort of think about the impact that your words might have before you say them. Because for somebody new coming into the craft, somebody who's been in it a while, they might look up to. And they might feel like they are less than because of something that came out of your mouth on a whim. And I feel like we all kind of have a responsibility to each other. As witches, as humans, as whatever. We all have a responsibility to each other to help each other out and not cut each other down. I didn't mean to do like 14 minutes of just being preachy and bitchy. I just wanted to kind of put that out there. I might make a few more videos kind of with the title, The Spirit of a Witch, because I think that that title can cover some really, really good things. I want to kind of get the bitchy video out first. But to all of the witches that I mentioned in this video, thank you very much for being awesome. To all of you new witches out there, find your path, you know, and find what works for you. And don't pay any mind to somebody who's telling you that you're not what you say you are. If that's how you feel in your soul, and that's who you identify as, that is what you are. And blessed be to you for it. Again, I didn't mean to sound super bitchy. But it's a topic that kind of gets under my skin. Alright, until the next video, I hope you all have a great week, and I hope you remember to smile. Bye-bye!